The Louie T Network is powered by MusicHead University. MusicHeads, classes in session. Turn me up. Enroll on YouTube now. Link is in the description.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie T, here on Seawall Thursday this week. Wednesday was unavailable. NBA Finals. I didn't want us to go head-to-head with Game 1 of the NBA Finals. I think we would have lost that battle. So I said, we're going to have to turn Seawall Wednesdays into Seawall Thursday, but it's all the same. The woman that we all love, Candi Waller, beat reporter from Bowie TV, covering this team as no one else can. How are you doing? Week 2 of phase 3 of OTAs. We want all of the deets. How you feeling? This has been a great week weather-wise. We talked about that back and forth, texting each other like how great the weather was. This is abnormal weather for June in the DMV. Don't get used to this because I think it's going to be a blazing summer, right? I think it's going to be super hot this summer. But how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. The weather was great. I mean, I was complaining before the show, so I don't know if y'all want to hear my complaints publicly, but all I'm going to say is maybe I should have worn my hat, but it was beautiful out. It
was gorgeous. Yeah. You were fine. You didn't need the hat. You did the right thing. You didn't need the hat. So I want to get right to, because I want to make sure we get you out of here in a timely manner. I want to get right to week 2 of phase 3 of OTAs. So now you've got 2 weeks under your belt of kind of seeing this team in action with an actual football on the field. Obviously no contact or anything like that, but what stands out to you right now? What has stood out to you? What caught your attention in week 2 of phase 3 of OTAs in particular?
So some of the things, and I feel like every time I think about it, I come back to something else. And on Tuesday, I definitely left feeling like that was a practice that we watched that would have been like a training camp practice. And I was like, okay, this was good. This was very good. This was very good.
So was it tempo?
For sure, tempo.
Okay.
Absolutely tempo, but and I kind of said this on my show, and I'm like, look, y'all, don't come for me, but I'm saying just that day, I'm like, the wide receiver group looked better. And I was like, okay, wait, this is different. Not that they looked bad last week,
right? In
week 1 of OTAs. But I'm like, listen, they're spending some time together. This is some time on task. I feel like I'm watching because it certainly looks different, even in their drills. I was feeling like that with the wide receiver group. It's almost to the point where I was like, maybe they'll be okay. Maybe they'll be okay. Now, I don't, know if I even believe that, but I'm being objective based on what I saw. And I'm being honest, right? Like based on what I saw, completely objective, maybe this will be all right. But hey, it's still very early. First and foremost, felt like a training camp practice in June in OTAs, which is very good. And then I was like, well, maybe this wide receiver group is all right.
Yeah, I retweeted that because you tweeted out like the wide receivers looked really good today. And I was like, okay, I retweeted that. And a lot of people were asking me about that tweet. So elaborate on that. Like, what made you feel like, wow, they look really sharp today, like sharper than last week? What made you feel that way?
It made me feel like, okay, because at one point I happened to be standing behind them during team drills, and I'm looking, and you have been paying attention, of course, and I'm like, well, who would they cut? Because somebody's going to get cut.
Yeah.
Somebody, either that they brought in or that they drafted, someone's getting cut. Everybody. So who would it be?
Van Jefferson.
And at this time, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, Van Jefferson.
And and here's the thing. Everybody's like Van Jefferson. And I had to kind of laugh because I literally if you talk to Lake Lewis, those of you all that know Lake, I looked at Lake and I said, "Is Van Jefferson that keep running past us like this, catching the football?" And I was like, "This might get complicated because of that." I'm just being honest. You asked me, that was that day, and I was like, "Oh, did somebody tell him?" Because this is okay today, right? That's all I'm saying. I don't know. Okay, I have no idea. But everybody's like, somebody's gonna be the odd man out, whether they look good or not. That is what it is. So, but he did stand out to me.
Okay.
And that's just me telling the truth. I'm like, I know this is probably not going to be well received, but it's the truth. And I mean, Terry is still, he is it. Terry is it right now. So
he looks to be in some of the best shape of his career.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
He's locked in. And I want to put a pin in the wide receiver conversation because we're going to come back to that. But I'm going to ask you a question. I want your honest assessment. None of us know. You don't know, but I want Candi Waller's honest assessment. As we sit here on June 4th, one day removed from Brandon Ayuk's arrest warrant being put out there for him, your best assessment, is Brandon Ayuk a Washington Commander once he gets released, whenever that is, whenever that happens? Is he still a Washington Commander?
I think so. If they release it, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Because where is he going? I mean, not where else is he going? That's me.
You're not wrong. I mean, that's where he wants to be. He doesn't want to be anywhere else.
It's like if he's released, and it's at that point it's for the low.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess the question.
Call the police on him. Let me stop.
Say that again.
I said, did John Lynch call the police on him?
Look, I don't think he called the police on him, but I want to know if they called the district attorney's office and like, are y'all gonna file charges or what? Like, what's going on? The police passed this off to y'all in January. Why we ain't heard nothing yet? Y'all gonna file charges or what? Like, I know they didn't really do that, but for 1 second, you can't tell me that didn't cross your mind, even if it was a fleeting thought, like a millisecond. You didn't go.
I just said it.
I just said it. So of course I thought it at some point, right? Like it absolutely crossed my mind. Like, really? Y'all gonna file a misdemeanor charge now? 6 months, like June? Seriously, we doing that? That's not gonna alter their pursuit of him, right? Like,
I don't think so. I mean, no, it's not. I don't think so. Yeah, but it's just a lot of mess.
Yeah.
Right. And we know that this commander's organization tries their best to stay out of the fray, stay out of the news, stay out of the everything. But if he's released and he wants to, then it's like, well, why not?
Yeah. And it feels like this, and I think they knew that this could potentially happen. I don't think they thought it would happen in June, right? I think they knew when it happened in December, and they passed that off to the district attorney's office in January. They probably knew that something could come of this, and it's not a big deal, honestly. And I don't think, and Adam Peters vouched for the character of Brandon Ayuk in March at the combine when he was asked about him. He went out of his way to say, that's a good kid. That's a good dude. Like, we don't worry about all of that stuff. So I think they feel really good about who he is as a person. And that's what they care about the most. Like, obviously you got to be a good player, right? But they think he's a good teammate, a good person, and someone that they can bring in and integrate into the locker room. So, all right, pull the pin out of the receiver position. Treylon Burks, Antonio Williams, you talked about Van Jefferson. Give me some names of some of those guys that have stood out to you. And like Luke McCaffrey, another guy that we've seen clips of. Luke looks like he's physically stronger, maybe even a little faster. Feels like he's processing things a lot quicker too. The routes look sharper and crisper from him. Just talk to me about some of those guys individually. You've already said that the group as a whole looks, because Candi, we got to be careful, because you just said something that somebody else recited to me about 3 days ago, where it was like, you know what? I think I'm feeling good about this receiver group. I don't even think we need to add Ayuk or We don't need to Stephon Diggs. I think this group is good as is. And I'm like, yeah, no. I get the excitement. He's like, yeah, we should let the young guys play. And I'm like, yeah, no. I think we should have somebody else. I think we learned a lesson last year, a very valuable lesson. Like we're one, I'm not saying whose name injury away from this thing turning sideways, but I don't want to go down that path again.
That's why I didn't want to say anything. But I was like, but I said, nope, I was turning over a new leaf. Yeah. And I said, I'm just going to say it. Let's see what happens if I have to duck or be like, bad. But it's yes. Okay, so this is when use your clues is helpful. And because you're super smart, Louie, I'm like, nobody wants me to say that Luke looks good. He does. That's what I'm like, look, he does. He is, I do know for sure the off-season training has been legit, super legit for him. And he does look faster. He looks great. Now, Traylon Burks, I always feel a little biased because I always joke and be like, I'm the one who discovered Traylon. Does anybody watching this guy? And so so I'm always like, I won't say nothing about Traylon because it's like, oh God, she's still talking about Traylon. But yes, he's just gonna whatever the football is, he's going to do his best to get it. Regardless of the situation, because there was a couple times he definitely fell, and I was like, oh, he's okay. It's football.
But
he is tough.
You're all of us because that's been his bugaboo throughout his career, right? Is staying healthy. So when I read, oh, Traylon Burks made a great diving catch, I'm like, is he okay? And I shouldn't think that way. Like you said, they're football players, but that's the first thing that comes to my mind. Is he all right? Did he get up?
So there was a clip of one of the diving catches and he kind of landed on the side. I was still watching the clip that the team put out because I'm like, did they catch me? I was standing. They didn't catch me on the thing because I was standing right there and I was like, because I can't. Like, it's just a lot with him and you never know what's going to happen. But it was like an all-day thing. Like, he's just going to
make plays.
Whatever he got to do to catch the football.
We saw that in the Denver game last year, right? The three
literally whatever he's got to do to catch the football. I think it's just habit, maybe. I don't know, but he just does that. Antonio Williams is so I didn't post about him because I was like, all right, I've posted about him every time I'm out.
Enough. Yeah, I've done this enough. No, we can't get enough, Candi. We can't get enough.
Okay, so I'll keep doing it because there were times where I was like, how did he catch that? And he's not letting the football hit the ground. Like maybe it is maybe it's low, and it is in fact low, and he just gets it. And I'm like, that's that smooth operator thing he's talking about, because I still feel like the swag is too big to be a smooth operator. But we're
gonna find something better.
We have to find something.
Or we could just call him smooth. You don't gotta throw the operator up there. Just call him smooth.
Right. Or something. Yes, that works too. Because it would lead you to believe that he's going to drop it or he's not going to catch it because it's low. And he catches it and it doesn't hit the ground. And you're like, that's very good. Like, I just was saying that, like, this is very good. Very good. I like that. And so it's just, And so they were doing that. I mean, Terry mentioned in his presser at one point he and Jaden missed each other, but I still thought that was very good. I didn't have an issue with the play, right? I mean, maybe some of my other colleagues might have thought, he meant, but I saw where they were going with it. I saw corrective action taking place. It was like, but I still thought it was great. It's just, got to roll on that one. Okay, that's cool. But for the most part, it was a very good day for that group. I haven't mentioned Diami, but Diami is like, for some reason, watching Diami on Tuesday, I don't want to say for some reason, because that's not the right way to say it. On Tuesday, and I've been sharing this with people. You all are probably going to hear me talk a lot about 24, 25, and now. Because for some reason, I just feel like this is a story for me. It's like everything that we saw in 24, what happened in 25, and now what's happening now. Because there's so much of last year was incomplete. And one of those things was, okay, well, can we all admit that Diami was missed last year? Like, can we all just say it? because that's where I was at on Tuesday. I'm like, okay, all right. If nobody else wants to say this, I will. They missed Diami last year. Okay, all right. Did we get it out? Everybody just, breathe now. I said it.
I literally said the same thing yesterday. I said it a week ago, and I doubled down on it because Terry brought up Diami again. Jaden brought up Diami. DQ brought up Diami. David Blough brought up Diami. These are unsolicited Diami Brown references. When they ask about Antonio Williams, somehow Diami Brown's name comes up. When they ask about the receiver room and they start rattling off names, Diami's name always comes up. And I think there's a familiarity there, but there's also like he's a glue guy. Even though it doesn't feel like Diami Brown's supposed to be a glue guy, right? I just feel like there's a comfort with him and Jaden, right? I think there's a speed element, obviously, that we missed. Like when there was no Terry, there was nobody else that could get behind the defense last year. And Diami, say what you want about him, he provided that. And he's a great special teams player. They love that. And he blocks. He does so many things well. And I just think they missed Diami last year. And I think they wanted him back, but not at $10 million. Nobody thought Diami Brown was. I think Diami Brown was shocked he got $10 million. if you were being honest, we gave him truth serum. Like, oh, $10 million? Yeah, I'm out of here, right? But I think you hit the nail on the head, Candi. They absolutely missed Diami Brown. And it needs to be said. It needs to be said. They missed him last year.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else has said it. Maybe, but I just did. Because that's what else came up. And he looks bigger. So I knew, going back to 24, right? Like, especially in the NFC Championship game, it was some times, it was getting bullied around there, these Eagles people. And so I don't think too much of that gonna happen. Yeah. You gotta work on some things, right? And when in his I guess I can call it re-signing, right? Press conference. I asked him about how he dealt with some of the adversity, and he came, he was open about just the mental struggles. It's a lot. And I was aware that, he was, having a time. He had got injured, right? That was kind of the first time. So many of these guys, it was like their first time getting injured last year.
It was.
So for him, that was a thing. And so just understanding some of those things of wanting to work on, but it was, even though he's back, it's like he never left. The energy is still there. He's supposed to be in the burgundy and gold. It doesn't, it just feels like, oh, there's Diami. So I just said, is anybody ready to admit this? I can, for everybody.
I'm right there with you 110%. I think you nailed it with that. And I love your assessment of the receiver position because it jives with everything we've heard about how good this group has looked in camp or OTAs rather. And that, look, this time of the year, it's set up for them to look good, right?
That's right. But that is true. Very true.
But you guys weren't saying this about the receivers last year.
No, I know I didn't. I mean, I was like, where's Terry?
Right, where's Terry? Exactly.
Debo absolutely was like, whoa, seeing this guy in real life is like, oh my God, but you knew he was going to be used for different things, at least at that time, right? No, I didn't say it last year. I was like, where?
Yeah.
It
was rough.
Yes.
So to hear you guys say that this year, to hear you say, look, the receivers look really good, to hear you talk and praise Antonio Williams and talk about the growth of Luke McCaffrey and talk about Treylon Burks continuing to progress and, seeing Diami and his growth and even Van Jefferson to a lesser degree and how fast he looks. That's a great sign for this team and the wide receiver.
Even in a couple of misses, it wasn't bad. Like it wasn't like, oh, good Lord. It wasn't, it was fine. And that's why I was like, I'll put it out here like right now. Don't hold it against anybody, but maybe they'll be okay. Maybe, and it's still like, I don't know. I mean, and listen, they do need to add somebody. I'm always for adding someone, right? But like, They looked all right because I didn't see Van Jefferson last week. And I'm not saying that being mean. I didn't see him. And hey, I'm still playing the major look game because it's easy to play that this time of year.
Right.
And he made me turn my head a few times. Like, is anybody seeing Van Jefferson? Okay, all right. I'll wait till it happens again. And then it happened. Oh,
there it is again.
1, 2, 12. If I see him, all right, write it down. If it happens again, I gotta say something. And so it happened again. Now I gotta say something.
Well, that's interesting. And
it is interesting. Yeah.
Like that's a great problem to have. One that we haven't had here in quite some time, where you got to cut someone that is actually an NFL player that will end up on someone else's roster more likely than not. That just hasn't happened here. You know, we've cut guys that either ended up in the UFL or on somebody else's practice squad or out of the league altogether. So
that is true.
I want to do a quick roll call with the injured players, right?
Okay.
You can just tell me if they stretched, because we saw some of the guys, you know, stretching but still didn't practice. Were they in the building? That's all we're looking for, right? So Trey Amos, we saw him in the stretch line. So did he go through like stretches? Do you know if he stretched or not? We know he didn't practice.
Yeah, I saw him on the side field.
Okay. So he was on the side field.
Yes, he was outside.
Okay. So good. He was outside. We're making progress, because I don't think we're gonna see him in the mandatories either. I think they're gonna take it really slow with him. There's a chance. I think there's an outside chance he could be, you know, doing something by mandatories, but I think they really are gonna take it slow with him and make sure he's ready for training camp. Right. I'm just drawing an inference. I'm just throwing. I don't know nothing. I'm just out here spitballing. But if I had to guess, if I was ranking where these guys are and how soon they'll be back, Amos would be first, right? I think he'll be ready for training camp. I think Dietrich Wise is an outside chance he's ready for training camp, but I could see him not being ready for the first couple of weeks of training camp. And then I think Dorrance is closer to the start of the regular season, or maybe even start the season on PUP list. We'll see. But that's kind of where I see it. Was Dorrance and Dietrich there?
Dietrich was definitely there.
Okay.
I don't want to say Dorrance was not, but I did not see him.
Okay.
But cool. I definitely saw Dietrich.
All right. And then Bill, what's the deal with him? Like, so he looked like he was ready to do something. Scott Abraham had a post where it looked like he was trying to go through a drill. He had a football in his hand, and then the athletic trainer came over and said something to him and kind of pulled him away. Did we miss something with him this offseason? Did he have like a minor procedure that we didn't know about, or is he nursing something? Like, because he didn't participate last week, and he's still not really doing much now. And DQ, I love it, because DQ they asked him about it and he just glossed over that, like smooth, like ain't say nothing. Like, should we be concerned? Because I got another Bill question. Should we be concerned? This is not something we should be concerned about, is it?
Well, he was outside last week, you know, in the bubble, but he didn't practice.
He didn't practice, though, right? Yeah, he was out
outside,
there.
You know, he was on the side field. See, by the time I ended up seeing him, he was over there by track. He was on the side field. So I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, he looks fine.
He looked. I mean, again,
he looks happy. It doesn't look like, you know, because sometimes he's hurt or can't play. He's sad. So he doesn't look like that. But you know, but I don't know what's going on.
DQ said something really interesting, and it caught my attention. And maybe this is some off-season stuff. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. But I always feel like this time of the year, I'm less enamored with what is going on the field, although it matters. I'm more enthralled by what's being said. I'm captivated by what people are saying. Right?
That's good.
DQ said he wants to see Bill catching the football. He thinks Bill can catch the football, and they want to see him on kickoffs. And I went, wait, what? How many starting running backs in this league, you know, are running back kicks? And then I'll take it a step further. The last guy that was a running back here that was fielding kickoffs, that was any good at it, was our third down all-purpose back, right, in Austin Eckler back in 2024.
He could do it. That's right.
He caught it, and he returned kickoffs, right? He was great as a pass catcher, and he was excellent second team or third team All-Pro as a return man that year.
Mm-hmm.
Am I reading too much into this that he wants to see Bill on kickoffs and he's talking about him catching the ball out of the backfield all of a sudden? Is Rachaad White more of a threat to start than we gave him credit for? Because he's looked really good in the clips that I've seen of him. Like, it made it seem like Debo didn't do the number one any justice last year, because that one is flying this year.
Mm-hmm. He's fast. Rachaad White.
A lot faster than I thought he was too, by the way.
Yeah, he's very
I wasn't giving him enough credit for how fast he was.
Yeah, he's very fast. So here's what I think is important, I feel like. So Coach Blough was talking about like the three things that they're focusing on, what he really wants to be focused on, right? Ball security, explosiveness, and situational football, right? You got to get down there, you got to score, do it now, run the scoreboard up, go, whatever. They score, whatever. Situation, those three. One ball security.
That is the one thing that Bill has struggled with in his career to this point.
And use your clues.
Okay. And I've always said if there was a reason that he didn't start, that would be it. That's the one thing, right?
Ball security. He said it.
Yep.
Blough said it. I didn't. I'm just repeating what he said.
I just thought it was interesting that DQ brought up returning kicks and catching the football out of the backfield. These are third down back traits. These are not things that starting running backs are necessarily tasked with doing. You would love your first down, second down back to be Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson and can catch and do everything. But the vast majority of backs in this league aren't tremendous pass catchers. There's a guy for that, right? A guy that's an excellent pass protector, a guy that can, like, that's why they love Jeremy McNichols, right? Because they feel like he's a jack of all trades. He can pass protect, he can catch it out of the backfield, that sort of thing. That's not what Bill has been, tabbed as. And part of the reason that Cliff would always tell us he's great with the football, but how is he without the football, right? Attention to detail on routes, pass protection, that sort of thing. And now all of a sudden we're hearing him as a pass catcher and, we might want to try him back there on kickoffs. And I'm like, interesting. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. It's that time of the year where Luke's fielding punts, okay? Like, this is the time of year that it is. Everybody's getting a chance to do everything. But I didn't expect to hear that about Bill. That's all I'm saying. So just some food for thought. You just hit on something that I wanted to go to next. The coordinators. What are your impressions of Daronte Jones and David Blough? You've seen them now a couple of weeks out in practice, how they're handling their first OTA as they're installing their respective schemes. How do you see them kind of acclimating themselves to being in that head position of being a play caller and getting guys lined up and the urgency and things of that nature? What have you seen from both of them?
I mean, they're both falling in line. Exactly all the things especially what's standing out to me is the relentlessly teaching aspect of it. So, Coach Blough has got some history with these guys, maybe not in this role, but he's his history. He's been there. And so there's a continuity with him that now you're kind of seeing it new, right? With Coach Jones. One thing I can say about Coach Jones, if something needs to be corrected, it will be addressed in real time. Right? Like, it'll get addressed in real time. Now, I don't know, it's on the player if it's something different happens. But he is a communicator. I can see that he is a communicator. He will go and talk and discuss, right? Directly with the player. So I have seen that so far from him. And I'm going to continue to watch it as well. It's interesting because it's like Cliff and Joe Witt were pretty laid back. Coach Quinn was the hype one. these two coordinators, they're pretty hype. I mean, Coach Blough a bit more hype because he's always hype. This is a hype person. And not that Coach Jones isn't, but Coach Jones is more chill. But you know,
the energy, and maybe that kind of aligns with what you've been telling us. Like the tempo is up, the energy is up. Because you talked about that last week. Like they've always been energetic. They've always like the bag drills, all that stuff. That's always. But he's like, there's a sense of urgency now. Like the word you used was urgency. There's an urgency. There's a tempo to what's being done. You just mentioned today that this felt like a training camp practice.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? So that obviously the tempo, the urgency is different. And I think there's a direct correlation. And listening to you speak with these two coordinators, like
it hasn't felt like this since the first year of this regime. 2024 was like that. 2024 OTAs, it made me realize I was not at NFL practices previously. I was at an NFL practice, but I don't think that's what it was. I don't know.
Right.
But you understand what I'm saying? So, you know, because I got friends from back then too. So I don't.
Right. No, but I mean, you're keeping it a buck. Like
in 2024, I was like, dude, like I remember being at mandatory minicamp and it was so hype. Yeah. I did not want practice to end. I'm like, no, this can't be the last day. They got to do this again. Yo. And it was like everybody was talking. Everybody was going for everybody. And last year, though energy, there wasn't a Terry. That mattered more than we realized at that time.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't really dawn on me till training camp. Like, okay, do y'all want me to call Terry? Because this is not, come on now. This is stop posting these clips of the wide receiver group. It's false. I don't want people to believe this. Get Terry back in.
No, it was bad, and we could sense it in the moment because the defense was dominating, and we knew the defense wasn't that good. We didn't know it was this bad. It was going to be that bad, but we knew it wasn't that good the way that it was being reported, and we knew why it was playing as well because the offense wasn't very good.
It wasn't good at all. It was not good. And so while the energy was still there, this feels like it's new again, but it's not new. It's a lot of new people though. Like I was like looking around and I'm like, yo, last year at this time, there's new people, but I knew everybody. And now it's like, all right, now I got to go back to being objective. Like I'm going to go talk to my friends. Like I haven't spoken to any of my friends. Like, well, now you got to make new friends. Everybody's on the same playing field again. Here we go. You know, we were everybody's big happy family last year. Now it's like, we cool, but now you got new family members. We got to talk to them too, or new people that you know how it is, right?
Yeah.
So it's like 2024 times like 3, right? It's like okay, but there's different things about the personalities of the coordinators. Because Cliff, he just too cool for school. He just laid back. That's just him, you know. And he shouldn't change.
That's just his personality.
That's just his personality, and he should not change at all. You know, Coach Witt is like that as well. But these two are not. They kind of like Coach Quinn. You know, they're gonna get involved. They're gonna be excited. And when things aren't looking too hot, they're gonna address it. So, you know,
and that's what we need. Honestly.
I saw Coach Jones' personality a little bit there, so I was like, oh.
Okay.
But you know, but in that regard, it's also, you know, but then I have the storytelling, right? Okay, Coach Jones had to correct, you know, if you got to correct something from somebody who's not new, then you know, here we go again, right? You get what I'm saying? So it's like different people, same issue, then we know what there's a common thread.
Yep.
So it's 2024 times, I would say times 3. It is definitely like that, but it's different. And hey, the youth does have something to do with it, and they are faster. Like if they wanted to get younger and faster, check box. They did that. Because somebody is flying past me all day when I'm out there.
I think you once again, per usual, nailed it. Like because one of the conversations we've been having on the show is this feels a lot like 2024.
Oh,
we hate to keep harkening back to 2024, but that's a reference point.
Yes.
And it was the biggest difference between this year and 2024 is that there is expectation this time around. In 24, there was no expectation. Hey, if we come out of this season and Jaden has established himself as a true starting quarterback, like we found our guy, that's a win for us. That was kind of the mindset going into that season. Just come out of this season and Jaden has established himself as a legitimate NFL quarterback, and we'll feel great, right? Win 7-8 games in the process, but come out of this thing feeling like Jaden is absolutely the guy for the job. To go and do what they did that year was insane. It was one of those magic carpet rides, right?
It was.
The feeling that you get with the energy that you talked about, the turnover too. Like there's a lot of turnover this year, right?
Yeah.
Much like 24. We turned that roster completely over because you had everything was new. New general manager, new head coach. So you're going to bring in all these new players that fit what they wanted to do, their identity for what they saw and the vision that they saw for this team. I think 25 was almost like a skip year because they got fooled into thinking they were close.
Yep.
We all did. Guilty as charged, right? Thought you were closer than what you were. So you start trading for guys like Marshawn Lattimore and Laramie Tunzel and Debo Samuel because you think, and you sign old guys like Von Miller because you think we're close. We just need some veterans to help push us over the top. And that wasn't the case, you know? And you even said it. You said it, and I don't think they were listening because you said, I don't like the over-reliance on 5.
I did not.
We are relying too heavily on 5 to win us football games. And when you're in the moment and you're having fun, that's in one ear, out the other. We ain't trying to hear that, man. It's a good football team, but yeah, 5 is bailing us out. But no, there's no but.
Yeah.
So when something happens to 5, you're going to find out that this is not a really good roster. And that's exactly what happened last year.
Yeah.
So they had to come to that realization.
Yeah, I remember. I mean, and you're right. Like, you can't tell this story without 2024 and 2025 because there's there's a story. There is. The whole thing is a story. This is a continuation of that with this regime. It's so much, even from the ownership, everything, right? All the things, because we didn't even get into how they fed us the other day, the stadium food. That was
we can get into that.
You know, like all of it tracks. It's all a part of the experience. It's all a part of the journey. And I remember, so this is before you and I met, because we didn't meet until after 2024 season, right? When did we meet? Was it after 2024?
You got me curious now. I want to say you're right, but hold on. I'm gonna go check right now and see when our first video was. Go ahead, keep going.
Okay. So I would always have an issue with the defense. I had it. It would be okay sometimes, but most of the time it was some good moments, even for the defense. There were some good moments, right? You go back all the way to the Arizona game, the Cleveland game. They put up a heck of a fight against the Ravens that year. Then they like demolished the Panthers. Then it was the Bears game. I had an issue then. Whenever I had an issue and brought up an issue, like not being able to score touchdowns or anything like that, but I distinctly remember it was after the Falcons game that year. The Commanders had gotten to the playoffs, great. And I did a whole, like kind of on my show about the defense. And people were commenting like, you're negative, you this, you that. They won, they made the playoffs. Can't we just be happy? Right. This, that, and the third. And I'm like,
those are the cheerleaders. They don't want to hear anything negative.
Okay. Because you want to know why Jaden was exhausted like that? Because they couldn't stop anybody.
Yeah.
They couldn't do anything.
We should have lost that game if Raheem Morris wasn't a complete and utter disaster in terms of clock management.
It was real bad.
I mean, he took 2 timeouts to overtime, and they ended up kicking a 54-yard field goal. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
They could have got way closer. Way closer.
They could have got way closer. And legit, if the Commanders did win I always say if the Commanders did win the coin toss, they lose that game.
Probably
Jay was hot.
Yeah.
He was hot. And he wasn't losing at that point because now I'm like, now he exhausted, now he hot, and like he hot. And then Marcus that gave him the pep talk he needed. He gonna send this. He gonna
finish this thing for sure.
Out, like so he can go sit down somewhere because he's tired. So it's like, where are they going with this defense? But everybody got fooled after that Detroit game. It was a divisional round. Even myself for a moment, I thought, I was like, they finally did it. Like 5 turnovers. That's it. That's the number. Because I think I told you that one day. Like the goal is 5, and you were like, what?
What kind of where you get that number from?
And I'm like, that's the number they said. Like it's very literal when I talk. They said 5. Okay, it's 5, and they got 5 that game. Yeah, and so I'm like, oh, they going to the Super Bowl now. They done figured out the turnover thing. Oh, they got it. Oh, okay, right, but they didn't. Right, didn't. And then you see the off season, and you like, oh, I know what this means. This means we gonna run this back with what we have. Now, understanding that what you really had was a historic rookie quarterback season, the one that we've never seen in our lifetime. That's what you had. And everybody got duped. Like everybody.
Guilty as charged. Like I said, and I knew, this is the thing. I knew, Candi, we had talked about it. We both talked about it, and we both expressed that their reliance on 5 can be a gift and a curse.
That's right.
And we knew, but at the same time, you were on cloud 9. Like, I was on cloud 9. You know what I mean?
I can admit my negativity did. I tell myself I should have enjoyed myself a little bit more, but I was working and I could see everything that was going wrong versus what had gone right.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I was seeing all the issues.
And that's nothing wrong with that.
Field goal. Then people are like, oh my God, they won. I mean, so what if it's a field goal? No, that matters. That matters. And, you know, so now that's why I'm like, okay, it feels like 2024. It does. Times that by 3 because you got 2 coordinators that they get it from an energy, all that, and they did get younger and faster.
Yeah, that's the best roster that Jaden's had in his career, his young NFL career. So I think the expectations are different.
Jaden is different.
Speak on that. Or as a wise woman likes to say, pull on that thread.
Pull on that thread. Pull on that thread. Please stop. Oh, that's so funny. When people tell me what I say, and I be like, oh.
You already say it all the time? Yes, that's a Candyism. That's a Candyism. Pull on that thread. Pull on that thread for me.
Oh, God, that's so funny. And he's a lead. I mean, yeah. JD5 ain't all jokes now. Not that he was all on jokes before, but I mean, he's still playful. But I may have said this to you, I'm not sure, on camera or off, which was, hey, look, I'm always go back to the captains of the postseason. I'm always gonna go back to the captains of the postseason because it was a very real thing. And once you knew who the captains were, it all made sense, right? But 2 of those captains are not here. And so, but 3 are. Yep. Right? Okay.
Reeves, Terry, Jaden.
And 2 out of that 3 have been here a long time. So they've been sitting, waiting for that opportunity to be be who they are as leaders. Well, always, I think everyone should appreciate Dan Quinn and what he's done here for that, because those are just 2 real legit leaders that never really got to be in that role because of, past culture or whatever. But I was watching practice on Tuesday. Terry, absolutely that. Absolutely same for Revo. But I said, you know what? Before I was like, who on defense is going to be the one that, gets everybody together? Because that was absolutely B-Wags. It was just 110%. Yes. And I mean, at first it wasn't. Everybody just fell in. Right. I think going back to 2024, B-Wags week was the week of Tennessee. They went on that 3-game losing streak. Yep. Everybody was crushed. And I was there for that. Now I witnessed that. They were crushed after that Dallas game. Oh my gosh. And then he went, I watched him. He went and he talked to like every player in the locker room. they were crushed. They lost that game. And then I guess during that week, he wanted to talk to the team. He wanted to have a meeting. Then they demolished Tennessee Titans.
And he had the speech to y'all, right?
Yes, right.
Come talk to me at the end when it's, and
yeah, for sure.
That was the speech, right?
Sure.
Like,
but I definitely
fans,
saw him like going to
that.
walk and talk to everybody because they were correct. And I think at the time, what were they? 8-3, 8-4? I don't know.
So they were 7-5 after that Dallas loss.
Oh, right,
they started
right.
7-2, and they lost 3 straight. Yeah.
So yes, so they lost that game. I mean, they were, oh my gosh, Jeremy couldn't even talk. They were upset after that.
I mean, Jeremy Reeves was blaming himself because of the kickoff return. Like, I was there, I should have made the tackle. Yeah, and
he couldn't even move.
Yeah,
they were devastated in the locker room.
I remember you telling us. You literally was like, "Yo, he was beyond devastated."
For sure.
Like, yeah.
Watch Bobby talk to everybody individually. Then that week, I guess he talked to the team. His dad talked to the media, all that. They go out, completely different group of people for Tennessee, and then they went on the bye. That was before the bye week, I think, right? Yes.
Yep.
But then he came back and played the Saints.
Yep.
And there are certain aspects of Jaden that I would see, and I would be like, he got that from Bobby. Well, he got that from Zach. Like I'm paying attention. And then he would just be back to being Jaden. But now it's like, all right, Jaden, now this is your team. Because if somebody not doing something, you got to hit your Tom Brady, and you're gonna go down there and talk to the defense if you need to. You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with this? Like,
and are you seeing him be more vocal?
I mean, he was always vocal because he would go and talk to, like, when stuff would happen in practice, like he'd make a mistake or they would pick him off or whatever. Like he would go, Bobby would either come and tell him on his own, or Jaden would go and ask or talk. But it's just, it's a demeanor. It's a thing. And it's not that these people aren't his friends, because absolutely they are. Like everyone, people who are still there, he's very close with. But I think he understands that this is different. And he kind of said it in his scrum. Last year left a bitter taste in his mouth.
It did. He did say that. Yeah.
Because other than like Michael Penix, you watch the rest of your draft quarterback class go out there and do their thing.
Yeah. I mean, they were literally both of them were in the AFC Championship game. One got hurt, obviously didn't get to play in it, but he led his team there. The other was there and then went to the Super Bowl. And then Caleb Williams was doing crazy stuff with the Bears, even though they didn't make it out of the divisional round. He still had that crazy play that got him to overtime, etc. So you're watching all of this, and that was you the year before, right? That was you the year before.
And you in year 2, and then it becomes a sophomore year slump. This is that, and the third, and you got to know some of that's got to play a little bit on your psyche. So I'm like, you take all those things considered. I would take the leaders that he has had to learn from, couple that with the leaders who are still there, Revo, Terry. And at the end of the day, hey, listen, if it's your team, go ahead and act like it. Tom Brady had no problem with it. I don't think Patrick Mahomes has a problem with it. It is what it is. And you're just going to have to roll like that. And I think he's accepted that.
And Terry spoke to that. Terry's like, Jaden different this year. Like,
he different.
He locked in. I don't know if you saw the Rich Eisen interview that Terry did, but
I think I posted. I don't know.
He talked about a text exchange with Jaden where it was right before Memorial Day weekend, and they had a miscommunication on a route, and Jaden is texting him about this route, and Terry's like, "Bro, it's Memorial Day weekend, bro. You can hit me after the weekend's over. We can talk about this. Like you're off work now, bro. You don't have to text me about this right now." And Jaden was like, "Nah, I need to talk to you about this right now. Like, you gotta get this route straight now." And so Terry's like, it's levels to it. And Jaden's turned it up another notch, and he's at another level now. And he can sense it because Terry's a leader, right? Terry's been a leader. If there's a guy in the locker room, and I said this earlier today, if there's a guy in the locker room that's gonna be like, "Hey, hold on, one more. We got another game ball. Coach Quinn for yada yada yada." That's gonna be Terry, right?
Yeah,
that's who he is. Because he's that vocal leader. Everybody, I remember Bobby saying everybody leads differently. DQ says everybody leads differently. And Jaden's been, I felt like a lead by example guy. That's kind of like what Bobby was, right? He's closer to Bobby than he is Terry. Terry's a vocal guy. You know, he's gonna be rah-rah, he's gonna speak. That's not necessarily Jaden. I think out of necessity, he's gonna have to speak more this year. And I think we're seeing some of that already. I think another thing that's helping facilitate that is this new offense. He has to be vocal in this offense. He's got to call out the play. He's got shifts and motions. He's got to get everybody lined up. They're saying this like it's like he created this offense. It's like he's the creator of this offense because he knows it so well already. And that's music to my ears for a third-year quarterback in his, second offense in his career, and it being something totally different, drastically different than what he's accustomed to. He wasn't under center in college. He wasn't under center in Cliff's offense. I even went as far as to say he wasn't even comfortable getting to the mesh point of the handoff from under center. When we played the Seahawks and we had that outside zone, he tossed it. They did the Robert Griffin III 2012 special where he tossed it to run it to Bill, right? Because they weren't even comfortable with him having the footwork to get to the mesh point. So he's done all of that. He's gotten so much better. He's so much more comfortable under center. And Blough talked about that.
Yeah.
And I think you're seeing the making of Jaden Daniels turning into what we already thought after year one. You can't tell me nothing about 5. Like, I think he's top 5 quarterback in this league. He's going to have to reestablish that after what happened last year, of course.
For sure.
But I think you're going to see this guy come out on some, MVP conversation type of energy this season.
Yeah.
And I think you're kind of alluding to like that leadership piece, you know what I mean? Being a part of that.
Because I was concerned about it. I need to see because I know who they were in 2024 and 2025. 100%. And while the other 3 that are still here are absolutely that, when it got thick, it was the other 2. And it was really one of the 2. You feel me?
Yeah.
Now, they always acted like, I always joke, like, you big brother, you go check on your little brother today? Talk about trading, you go talk on your little brother. Right. You're like, what? But, but that's just me being silly. But seriously, I would ask. But, like, I think he get it, and they're not there currently, and it's he gets his job. It's a very important job, and it'll turn into you will see him up and down the sideline, I think.
As opposed to when things weren't going right, he would isolate himself, go all the way down. Remember, he would all the way down and just stood there by himself.
Yeah, I mean, and that still may be the case.
Yeah, I'm about to say when we get into the games in the season, that might be his process of.
You have other people who can do all that talking.
Right. Fill that void. Yeah.
And they're not there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the cameras wasn't always on. Well, I know who was over there doing all that talking.
Yeah.
Or he was over there trying to cool off.
Yeah.
And maybe you still need time to cool off or not. It just depends.
Yeah.
So y'all end up seeing a goon in a different kind of way. Don't be surprised, is what I'll say. Use your clues on that one. If you see a different individual show up, it's just that personality finally made it to showtime, I guess. Right. Surprise. I mean, hey, it's in there for sure. Yeah. So, but you don't have buffer. So it's got to be, you don't have the buffer.
Give me a guy that they brought in here defensively, because they brought in a lot of defensive guys. Give me a guy that has stood out to you as a free agent acquisition on the defensive side.
Free agent. Okay, no more Sunny talk. Thank God.
No more Sunny talk. We're gonna get plenty more of that. Trust me, plenty more of that. And we can circle back. We can circle back to Sunny after you give me one defensive free agent acquisition that has stood out to you.
I mean, from 154 to the other. I mean, Leo was fast as a mug. Like, he is fast.
You know what? That's good to hear, because we haven't heard a lot of Leo Chanel talk.
Really?
Not since we signed. And
I mean,
that doesn't change the fact that we're excited about him. We know what Leo can be,
super fast.
but we haven't heard anything. He hasn't had a press conference yet, other than, you know, when he first got here. Yeah, I'm assuming we're gonna hear from a lot of guys next week. I think we're gonna get Daronte Jones next week. Since we got Blough this week, I'm assuming we're gonna get Daronte next week for a press conference. But and they gave us like a Dafi Owe this week, so I'm assuming we're gonna continue to get some different guys speaking. But we haven't heard from Leo, and no one's talking about Leo. We see clips of Nick Cross making plays in practice and, you know, little things like that. We heard from Dafi Owe. We've seen clips of him. You know, we hear from Amik Robertson, and he's going to be fun this year. My God, he's going to be so much fun. He's a walk-in soundbite similar to JK. He's another guy that is going to be hilarious this year. But we ain't heard nothing really from Leo. And Charles Amina, who is another guy that he is so well-spoken, and he's just one of them dudes that just get it. He just get it. And so you know he's going to be another guy that people are going to gravitate towards when they want to hear, well, what's going on? Because Charles is going to tell you, like, we got to do this better. We got to be better here. We got to be sharper here. But we ain't heard nothing about Leo, his teammate from Kansas City. So to hear you say that is refreshing.
I mean, yeah, he's definitely fast. I don't know where every time I look up, he's. I mean, it's, you know, it's like, well, there's Leo.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe you know, it could be that could be loaded.
Yeah. And DQ did talk about the linebacker position.
It could be the jersey number. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, if that's the case, then it should really stand out, because that jersey number wasn't moving that fast last year.
I'm just saying why they haven't talked about. I mean, a lot about it. Maybe I don't know, but no, I never no. And I don't know how old Leo is. I mean, I don't know.
He's young. He's like 24, 25. He's super young. He's younger than the normal second contract free agent that you get.
Yeah.
You know, he's like literally going into the prime of his career. You could see him be re-signed here again, and he'll still only be like 27, 28.
Yeah. He's there's a lot of young people. So that's why I said that, going back to the leadership thing, it'll be Jaden for everybody.
So you clearly wanted to talk about Sonny.
Because I thought this where we was going with this. Like, I mean, like it's I wanted to say something about Sonny because I think it is a very important point, because I said, if you don't believe me, believe Odafe Owe.
Yep.
Because when I told everybody at Combine, I looked at the leg and said, oh my God, it's Bobby Wagner's replacement. Okay. Yep. I think that's the pick. Yep. But I'm already hearing he's not getting past John Harbaugh. So I don't know what's happening here, but I will figure this out by April. Is literally what I said. I will figure it out by April, because that's Bobby Wagner. That's him. It's Bobby. I'm like, I can't even talk. I can't even ask him a question. It's Bobby Wagner. Does Bobby know about this? I was like, oh God, like it's this crazy guy right here. No wonder. Of course, it makes too much sense. So Odafe always says, who has not played with Bobby Wagner. Yeah,
right.
Who says he's like a baby Bobby Wagner. He talked about the way he moves, the way he talks, how smart he is. Listen, yes, everybody, the Commanders got the vintage Bobby Wagner, but let's be very clear. That's just not, even at his age, normal. So you figure we probably didn't have as much of course, knowledge of him because he played in Seattle, right? Basically his whole career. So you wouldn't have known. And then, yes, he was a second round pick. So you figure a baby Bobby Wagner that was a top 10 pick.
With measurables that are off the charts. Yeah.
Like, it's unreal. It's unreal. And you would have to know Bobby and just admire his game and admire all the things. So even for somebody like Odafe to be like, you like a baby, and it makes so much sense. Who drafted Bobby? Of course they know what a linebacker. They know what a linebacker is.
Yeah,
they know.
I think Dan Quinn and Ken might have been there too.
Oh yes, he was. I guess that's who he started his career with.
Yeah.
So when I said it, and and I had some folks that was like, "Oh, you just saying that because it's Bobby." No, come on now, y'all know me better than that. I'm always gonna be objective. Know what I'm looking at. As soon as he started talking and he was answering some of these questions, I told Lake, I said, I have questions. I can't even answer it. Don't even worry about it because I already know who he is and what he's coming to Washington to do. The challenge will be if John Harbaugh gets him. That's it.
Right.
And that's what they first. So listen to Adafe. Y'all want to listen to me? Listen to Adafe because I've been trying to tell y'all for the last 3-4 months that was Bobby Wagner at 21 years old, the 2026 version. No lie. Which is a dream come true for this fan base.
Yes, that's music to my ears hearing you say that. When you said it last week, and then it's crazy because like verbatim, it's almost like you wrote a script for Adafe Owe to answer the question because he literally said word for word what you said last week, which is he's a baby Bobby Wagner. He's literally Bobby Wagner in a 21-year-old body. Like that's crazy. You know,
when Adafe said it, I looked around like, did y'all
hear that? Did y'all hear what he just said?
Give me
that
credit.
was me. That was me.
Traylon Burks and Sonny. Me. Credit, please.
Yes. Candy's like, I need my credit. I need my credit right now.
I need my credit.
I need it. I need all of it. Bring it here.
It is not a bad thing. It's an amazing thing. But I think even saying that maybe because the fan base, again, maybe some in the fan base don't know Bobby's history or just know him even coming out of college and just know his history. They don't understand that even when an NFL player like Adafe Owe, who's been, can say, "Oh, he's like a baby," but like is legit like a replica. Like there's somebody. Oh God, I'm not going to tell the joke out loud, but I mean maybe I could if I censor it a little bit. I made a joke one time about. It was a commercial, and I was like, "Yo, they just made a whole Bobby Wagner prototype." And what is that commercial? It was like I'd find it and send it to you.
Yeah,
I will find it and send it to you. I was like, "Yo, this is about a whole Bobby Wagner prototype. What is going on here?" So I would make a joke like the next best linebacker is going to be a Bobby Wagner prototype. Like they got to figure out what to do now because and here comes Sonny. I want credit for that too. But you all should be very, very happy.
We are excited. I've said that I think this is the best draft class that Adam Peters has had. We don't know that obviously yet. We got to see him on the field, but I think most people will tell you that the value that they extracted with just having 6 picks was phenomenal. Where these guys were projected to go versus where they ultimately got drafted, and to get Sonny, to get Antonio Williams, to get Josh Josephs, who a lot of people felt like would go a lot sooner than he came off the board. Fat Man is another guy that people thought would have been gone before the 6th round. People think that they really got tremendous value. Even Matt Golban was supposed to be going around before he got picked in the 6th round.
That's
so
true.
The draft, the free agency class, getting younger, getting guys going into the prime of their careers versus a bunch of aging veterans like they did the first 2 years when they were signing free agents. This feels different, and the roster is way more indicative of them really having a come to Jesus moment, which is what happened. 2025 forced them to reassess everything they had done the year previous. And I want to talk about. I want to go sidebar. I got it because I'm gonna forget if I don't attack it now because you brought up the combine. You're a superstar, Candy. Did you see that you were on the Commander's Log, the last Commander's Log episode, maybe 2 episodes ago, when DQ was going to the podium? And did you see that?
Somebody told me, they sent it to me, and then I did post it. They're like, "Oh my God, you're in the Commander's Log," and I was like,
"What did he say to you?" Y'all were talking about water, I think, something about the water. What did he say to you?
That's what it picked up on. He got there early, and he always coming up early, and that's I was like, "You early." Which I told him he was early. Yeah. I said, you early. I said, "But you gonna get started now?" Yeah. And he was like, "I'll wait. I'll just drink some water." Because I was getting on him about being early.
Early, yeah.
Early. Like, what is this? Even in Indy, you gonna be early here too? Like,
Yeah.
we still here, but we wasn't ready. Like, it was a whole conversation. That's why I was like, oh
Right.
God, first a little mortified. Like, oh God, what did I say?
Say right. They're not gonna put you out there like that.
So glad. Like, I think whatever clip, whoever was recording, I had posted something else a while back with Adam when we were speaking to Adam, and PR came over and was like, "You still mic'd up." The Adam, I was like, "Oh God, please don't air what I just said."
Yeah. They wouldn't put you out on blast like they're very mindful of what they put out there. So
I
you're
did ask
good.
a question. But I wasn't talking to him about water, but I guess my voice did pick up on it. And so I was getting on him about always being early. He was early last week. I'm like, it's supposed to start at 11:40. It's 11:30.
You know how these coaches are. If you're on time, you late.
Yes, very much so. He's been getting us like that since we first met him in 2020.
So that's not surprising. I was like, I wonder what Candi, because I replayed it like 15 times and then I couldn't hear, so I turned on the closed captioning to see if it would pick up what you were saying, and it still didn't pick it up. I was like, I'm gonna ask Candi what she said to him, because I thought it made it look like, because he was talking about the bottled water and the can and all that stuff.
Water today. He was like, "No, I'm just getting some water."
Yeah.
Wait. And he said, "I'll get some water. I'll wait."
Yeah. Okay. So you were getting on him about being early. Okay. Gotcha. All right. So let's get to this comment. We got one super chat, and then we'll kind of preview what you think you're gonna see with this team next week. What was up with the GoPro on Jaden's helmet? If you don't mind me asking, if you even know, like, what was the genesis of that?
I think he's just watching the moves. He's trying to scan the environment.
Okay. So, like, you know, when they always say, hey, what did you see here? Like, literally, here it is, GoPro. Like, you can see exactly what I was looking at through my lens, through the helmet. And
that's another thing you had with Bobby. And I think a couple of them, too. They got, like, photographic memories or something. It's a gift.
Yeah, well, that's what I've heard about Jaden. Like, part of the reason why he's able to retain so much information is because they see it and they got it, you know?
Like, literally.
That's crazy.
It is.
That's crazy. Merle Garrett, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Merle writes, Candi, is Bill in the doghouse?
I don't know. I don't think so. But see, here's the thing. You know, they're out there. They are there together all week. It's just those are the days that are open to the media.
Yeah, right.
So it's like, well, what happened in practice, right? Like, what happened in practice? You know, or injury or something could have happened. Or again, Coach Blough said it. I didn't. Ball security, explosiveness, situational football. So I think those alone can use your clues on ball security, who's keeping the ball secure, explosiveness, who's explosive, just because you got to be prompt, you got to be fast, especially coming out from under center.
Yeah. Like
somebody could blow that play up quick, and you don't want that to happen here. But you get what I'm saying? Like, yeah. And of course, situational football is all parties concerned, but I don't think so. But hey, the room for error is low, I think.
So when David Blough spoke the other day, and they asked him about the running back room, maybe out of sight, out of mind. He hasn't really practiced, but he didn't mention Bill, really, right? He's talked a lot about Rachaad White. He even mentioned Jerome Ford, right? Like, even Jerome's done some good things. I think I'm reading too much into it. I really think this is that June, May nonsense where you're hanging on every word. And I'm doing too much. I think what's ultimately going to determine whether or not Bill is the starter is the same thing we've been talking about, what you just said, that Blough said, which is ball security. I think that's what I've always said. And if he's protecting the football and they feel good about the way he's picked up the offense and how he's running the football and being decisive, etc., I think he's your lead tailback. But
that's the 3 right there. That's the 3. He's giving you the 3 in June.
Have you been watching? Because some people pay more attention to it, but I know my girl Candi is a special teams maven. Have you been watching the kickers at all?
The reason why we can't record special teams anymore is
exactly.
I would like credit for that too, actually.
Hey, and you get it. You get credit for that. Absolutely.
My bad, but thank you.
We are absolutely charging that to your account for sure.
It's like, stop, no more teams. Because I was watching it. All right.
Have you watched the kickers at all?
Yes. And I will tell you, after Tuesday, I was like, why is this such an issue? What is the problem?
So are you team Jake Moody or are you team Drew Stevens right now?
Well, it's kind of Jake Moody. It is Jake Moody, but that's the options that I have.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, of course, like you can't go outside. We got McDonald's at home, right? Like we would love to go out and get something else, but this is what we had. And I actually think Jake Moody isn't bad, right? Like I feel like for me with kickers in particular, I always feel like the young kickers have to figure it out.
That's right.
And we always seem to be the team that has the young kicker who hasn't figured it out. And we are the ones that go through all the growing pains, and then it doesn't work here because at some point, if a kicker's not making kicks, you got to move on. You can't keep going through the growing pains with him. It's unlike any other position on the field, because if you've got a receiver who's struggling with the playbook, or he's struggling with some drops, but he's super talented, you're gonna keep trying to work through that, right? Eventually, you hope the drops go away because he's talented.
Yep.
The kickers, like, bro, you costing me points. You might be costing me games. I can't keep doing this, right? Mm-hmm. And so you go through those growing pains with those kickers. We did it with Graham Gano. He ended up going on to be a really good kicker for Carolina and the Giants. Mm-hmm. We did it with Dustin Hopkins. He left here and went to the Pro Bowl with the Browns, right? Like we did it with Sean Sweezum. He went on to be really good with the Pittsburgh Steelers. David Akers ended up having an illustrious career with the Philadelphia Eagles. He was in Washington first. So when you look at all of these kickers over the years, we've done this so many times, and the young kicker always blossoms into a really good NFL kicker. Mm-hmm. I think Jake Moody went through that in San Francisco. Third round pick, all this pressure, didn't live up to the hype. They had to move on from him. And I think he's figured it out. I'm a veteran now. I get it. I figured out what works best for me. I think we will be doing that whole song and dance all over again with Drew Stevens if he ended up. Now, if he wins the battle, he wins the battle, right?
That's right.
But I think a lot of fans they're attracted to the new shiny object. Drew Stevens, big leg. That's what we've heard. And I was like, we had a big leg kicker here before, and Joey Sly that couldn't always keep it straight. So, like, big leg doesn't always equate to better. And Moody's leg isn't like, it's not terrible.
Right.
Right now, your sense is it's Jake Moody's job to lose.
That's right.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. And I think they've learned too, right? They learned a very good lesson. Use your clues. Is showing up. You bring competition in here now. Doesn't matter who you find. You bring competition in here now. It should not have taken until week 11 to have made a decision. Or whatever week that was, Madrid. Okay. Because that showed not certain signs last June. So,
And that was, I think, and again, we tend to forget this. Not we. I don't. I try to remind people of this. But people tend to forget this is Adam Peters' first go-round as a GM. He's learning too.
Listen, that is a part of the story. I don't bring it up because these are my people, But I keep it when I'm keeping it objective. Like, hey, look. And I think I've said this, like, I'm going to be very critical this year. Not because I want to be, I just take my job very seriously. And I know we got to, and if maybe the math is mathing, it's just not coming up the way you thought it was. Yeah. And that right there is another storyline that is not being discussed. There's several of those that I'm like 2024 class versus who they brought in.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
come joint practice against the Ravens after that, there's going to be some tough decisions that's going to be made.
Yeah.
Based on who's been brought in, like I said, who's been brought in, who's been drafted. When you really take a look, I could be wrong, but like, let's see what happens here when it comes to the class as a whole, right? Because what I will always say, a storyline that flew under the radar was Dominique Hampton being released after preseason game 1 last year.
You were all over that too.
I was all over it. I told you.
I don't know. I think you might have told me off air or I don't know if you said it on the show, but you was like, it ain't looking too good.
Well, I think that was a peace treaty because everybody was so mad about us not saying anything. So I think I might have did you a solid, like, hey, Dominique about to be out of here.
You literally told me, I was like, is it that bad? You was like, it's that bad.
It's bad.
And then literally the next week, he was cut. I was like, so I did go and check, and literally the first time we talked was August 14th of 2025.
Okay, so we missed the dream year. We missed the magic carpet ride.
We went back and revisited all of that stuff. We kind of relived it together. But we didn't go through it.
Go through it together. That and it was good though. We made it a good time. We made it a good time. So
you had some stories to tell, right? You had some stories to tell that cracked us up. So this is the perfect way to get you out of here. Full Command Show. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, Candi, just wanted to thank you for all of your work. We all do. Big shout out to Full Command Show for saying the thing that we all wanted to say, which is, Candi, thank you for all of your tremendous work. We appreciate you and can't thank you enough.
Thank you. I really do enjoy this, and I really do take my job seriously and try to do the best that I can and that we can at Bowie TV. So no, thank you for having me, Louie. Seriously, thank you for having me and making sure the fan base knows about Bowie TV and my content specifically. So I really appreciate that.
And it's a question here in the comment section. I'm gonna just ask it real quick. Are you content with the wide receiver room? Because we talked about it earlier. Or do you think we need to pick up another receiver?
I mean,
I think you kind of mentioned this. You said you're always good with adding another person. So.
Yeah, I definitely add another person. But I mean, it wasn't bad. I was like, well, maybe they're okay.
I love it. I love it.
I was saying it to myself. I was standing right behind him, like,
maybe this isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Maybe they all right.
Maybe they okay. Maybe this is okay. Maybe
I'm not falling for the banana.
Was the weather just nice today?
The weather was just extremely nice, Candi, and it made everybody glow. You got that glow. They had that glow.
Everybody glow. Like everybody's wonderful. They're fast and they're wonderful. They're great.
Yeah.
So
Candi wants to add another receiver too. She's like, hey, I mean, if they don't do nothing, Candy's like, it's better than I thought it was gonna be. But she's like, we can always add another guy. Like, hey,
that's literally right. Like, it's not as bad as I thought.
You can always add another guy, So Candi, as always, tell the people where they can find all of your wonderful work.
You all can find me on Bowie TV. Please make sure you're subscribed on YouTube. Also, if you are in Prince George's County, Maryland, I'm trying to get my battery here. Hold on, y'all. If you're in Prince George's County, Maryland, you have not cut your cable, you can find Bowie TV on Comcast channels 190 and 1097. You can follow me on X at Seawall SE or CEO Seawall, Bowie TV or Bowie TV Sports across all platforms. You all can find me. You can definitely find me. And Louie, thank you again for having me.
And no doubt. And thank you for coming on the show and blessing us with your presence. As always, you light up the room. And I've got all her information down in the description of this video, as I always do when Candi blesses us with her presence. Thank you so much, Candi, for giving us some of your time. We can't thank you enough. And we hope to do this again soon. Take care. Matter of fact, we got more OTA, so we'll probably try to work out something with you for next week so you can come back on and kick it with us and talk about what you saw. So thank you so much. Have a good one. Take care.
All right, see ya.
All right. So, uh, another great show with Candi, man. She's the best. Now we want to kind of wrap this one up. I didn't want to take up any of her time with reading an ad or anything like that. So I'm gonna do that now. We'll come back, put a bow on this one, and then I'll get you guys out of here. So real quick, Prize Picks. Big shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring this stream. Um, so if you are a Prize Picks user, great. If not, link is in the description of this video. It's available in states like California, Texas, Florida. Make sure that you use the promo code HMA, which you see on the screen, which will give you access to playing $5 and getting 50 instantly in lineup bonuses when you use the promo code HMA. That's for first-time users only. And I can tell you right now, there are some opportunities. If you're an NBA fan, if you're not an NBA fan, and this doesn't really apply to you, but there are some opportunities, right? There's space and opportunity. Whether you WNBA, and you got the NHL Stanley Cup Finals going on right now. You got baseball, NBA Finals going on. There's a lot right now. You got. I'm a horse race guy too, so you got a little bit of that activity going on this weekend. Belmont Stakes. So it's a lot going on, and Prize Picks has got you covered for just about all of it. So tennis is going on right now, really heavy as well. All of that exists in this space, and if you're interested in maybe trying to put a lineup together, put a little extra money in your pocket, here's an opportunity. And we got a big one tomorrow night, Game 2 NBA Finals. This is my last real opportunity to put some money in my pocket, these NBA Finals, because I'm not a big, I don't like being active in this space on things that I am not well versed in. Like, I know basketball, I know football. I'm watched just enough baseball to be dangerous. I don't know enough to do anything on any other team but my own, but I'm not even comfortable doing that, right? So I'm just really basketball and football, and NFL and NBA. So once this is over, that's it for the kid. So I'm really heavy on these NBA Finals. So should you. And you can follow me on Prize Picks at LouieTeeNetwork. I'm going to be back, obviously, tomorrow because we have a game to talk about. And I'm going to give you all of the things that I'm going to be looking for and things that I'm going to put on the ticket. I told y'all before game 1, Brunson was going to, score. I thought he was going to score early. That's the thing I was wrong about. Not for a lack of trying. He shot the ball in that first quarter. It just didn't fall, and then he got injured. But I told you, look for him to be aggressive. I don't know if he'll score more in another game. His game 1 games have been some of his better games of these series from a scoring standpoint. He was fantastic. He was phenomenal in game 1. But I told you Champagny was going to shoot the ball. I also thought Devin Vassell was going to shoot and be a little bit better. He wasn't, but Champagny obviously killed it, 5 threes. We'll talk more about some individual players and things that you should be looking for that might be advantageous to put on the ticket tomorrow. But big shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring this stream, and I look forward to chopping it up about Prize Picks with you guys again tomorrow. Once again, link is in the description. Use the promo code HMA as a first-time user to play 5 and get 50 instantly in lineup bonuses. So that is going to do it for me, your man Louie T, here on this installment of the Command Post Live Seawall Wednesdays, or in this case, Thursdays. I appreciate y'all coming in, checking the kid out, stopping by, showing Candi some love. She really appreciates the love that you guys have shown her. We talk all the time, and she just feels so at home on this program because of you guys. You guys make her feel like family, and that's the environment that we've cultivated. That's what we want here, and you guys have absolutely opened your arms and brought Candi in as one of our own. So love you guys for that, and so does she. And so thank you guys for chopping it up, and I look forward to kicking it with you guys next time. Until then, I'm your man Louie T, signing off. You guys have a good one. Peace.